Hi and welcome back to my channel. I know you can kind of see me, but I just wanted to really just show you this really quickly before I orient my camera. This is Couch Dragon, and this is all I have left. It's only been 1 week since I've been working on it. Now I'm going to bring my camera down. I know that I could have had my camera set before, but I did want you to see where I left off, so I want to just bring it right here. And I'm not going to finish this while I'm on this video, but I thought I would work on it for a while and chat with you about what's been going on. Yesterday was a good day for me. I know that we lost the Queen of England, and my condolences to her family. I don't want to be disrespectful of that. Excuse me. But I am working on my videos and book reviews for the month of September, and I am glad to say, I don't know why my canvas just moved. I might have to get some more masking tape. I'm glad to say that I think I've got a good dozen videos scheduled over the next 14 days, and I have maybe a half dozen videos already scheduled and several drafted and about 8 more to do. And my goal is just to get September out of the way as early as I can, and I'm meeting that goal. I did decide last month when I shot for 60 something books that I would not pressure myself number wise, I guess I'll use that term, for September. So my intent is, can you see that? There we go. My intent is to just make sure to keep my content flowing, and if I can get my books read, I get my books read. So I'm probably going to read somewhere around 50 to 60 books this month, and then in October I'll shoot for 70. It's like anyway, that's kind of like my reading goal type of thing. But speaking of reading, it is the weekend for the Shadow Lounge monthly readathon, and I did line up 8 books. I know I just said I was going to be taking it easy, but really 8 books over the course of 3 days is not unreasonable. And I will just show you on my iPad the 8 books that I plan to read. Give me one moment. So if I pull up my iPad, just going to pull up my photo app and go to all photos. So I am currently reading, the book I'm currently reading is not here. Okay. Well, I'm currently reading a book, and it's just not where I thought it would be. So let's see if I can find it. Alright, so let's just go to Goodreads. How about we do that? I was playing Do or Try Girdle earlier, so that's what's there. That's my, I missed one word right there. So, the book I am reading now is Do You Take This Man by Denise Williams. And so we're just going to save this, and then we can go back to my photo app. Oh, I know. My photo app does something weird. Now, if any of you guys use an iPad, maybe you can help me with this. You see how I just saved Do You Take This Man by Denise Williams, and it says November 2020? Does anybody's iPad do that? Throw your pictures in a weird spot in your photo album? And that's why I couldn't show you what I wanted to show you, because it threw it in last year. So let's do this again. I'm currently reading Do You Take This Man by Denise Williams. It's a romantic comedy, and she's a real piece of work. As a matter of fact, it says working together is no piece of cake, which is kind of funny when I said she's a real piece of work. I didn't even know that was there because I had something on top of it. He is a wedding planner and she is a lawyer, but she's also, oh, I forgot her title. there's a title when someone like an officiant, she officiates over weddings now. She's a divorce lawyer. But I also have The Winter Orphans by Kristen Beck, Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayburn. I've had this for 3 months. Jasmine Guillory's Drunk on Love. I love Jasmine Guillory. I have An Autumn Kiss. This is an anthology by Laura Rollins, Annette Lyon, and Lisa H. Catmull. Never heard of her before. I have a couple of Booker books, Nicole Trope's The Foster Family, and The New Couple by Allison James, and one more, The Child Between Us by Allison Ragsdale. So those are the books that I am reading for the Shadow Lounge monthly readathon. I could have just shown you this screenshot from the very beginning when I grabbed my iPad, but I was looking for the individual cover for that, but it ended up in November 2020 for some odd reason. So I put this screenshot here. I use an app called what is my app called? It's called Gander, Gandr. I use this app, and then I just select the book covers I want, and then I create my screenshots. So I plan on reading those, but I'm not just going to be reading, and I'm not just going to be diamond painting, because as I started to say, I am bringing all my content up to speed for September. So all my videos up until I think September 16th or 18th are already made, and I've got the screenshots, I've got everything. So all I have to do now is write a few book reviews, and I think it's 8. And so I wrote 2 last night. I just have to proofread them, so it's technically 6 plus proofreading of 2. And I am babysitting tonight, so Ari and Mikey can have their date night, but Mikey had a death in the family, so I'm also babysitting tomorrow so they can go to the funeral. So I'll see Demetrius and Olivia twice this weekend. So that means that after I make this video, I will finish the Denise Williams book and start my next book. Well, I already started Autumn Kiss, so I probably will continue with that. It's an anthology, so each book is about 100 pages, and I'm almost done with the first novella, so I'll probably go on to An Autumn Kiss. And in between reading each book, I will write up a couple of book reviews. I won't make any videos this weekend. I'll probably make videos Actually, Do You Take This Kisses for a blog tour for tomorrow? I'm just looking at my spreadsheet. I'm thinking about my spreadsheet in my head. So I guess that's one video I will be making today. But other than that video, I won't be making any videos, I think, until Monday. Book review videos, I mean. Now, content for this channel videos. Let's talk about that. I have to still do my August wrap-up. I haven't done that video. And I also want to do my September TBR beyond this weekend. So I do want to just like do a video on there. I do need to get back on TikTok. I did really good on TikTok. I joined TikTok, quickly gained over 400 subscribers, and then stopped. So I need to make some TikTok videos. I did do some slideshows for TikTok, but I never uploaded them, so I've got to do that. So it's going to be between the times that I have the children and the times that I'm working on reviews or making that video that I've got to get made for tomorrow. I will just be reading and reading and reading, which is what I love to do anyway. I did watch Big Brother last night and this morning. I wasn't feeling good last night, so I literally could not stay awake. I could not get through last night's Big Brother episode. I only got through maybe 45 minutes of it, and then I woke up around midnight and I rewound it because I have it on my DVR, and I made it through maybe another 10 minutes and fell asleep again. I said forget it. So I tried this morning, and I was able to finally watch the entire episode of Big Brother. Now, I will just say my Big Brother thoughts. Kyle has been sent to jury, and that was last week. And so when he got to jury, he told them of his guilt with regard to his racist comments. I truly feel that CBS has intervened and told him to get in front of it. I believe two things about Kyle. First thing is I believe that he's rather naive, and he probably didn't fully expect what he said to have the impact that it did. But the reason that I'm commenting on this is because if you watch last night's episode, Indy said something. Indy is the Brazilian woman. She says, "Come on, there's the internet. Get ahead of this," or something along that line. What did Indy mean when she said that? There's no reason to be ignorant of the political climate that exists in this world today. There's just no reason to be ignorant of it. There's too much information out there. Even if you are a 30-year-old man living in your mother's basement, you still have access to understanding what this world going on in this world. So I really appreciated that. Now, granted, I was half asleep, so I may be misquoting Indy, but if I remember correctly, that's what she said before I dozed off. Because I think that's right to the point where I dozed off. So I might not have even seen that the entirety of Kyle's confession to them, but I just wanted to mention that because I have very, very strong feelings about this season of Big Brother. Something else that I did is my daughter Adriana called me yesterday, and she wanted to let me know that the monthly broadcast for JW Broadcasting had a segment on there that would be very helpful to me. And so I immediately watched it. I put it on my iPad, and then I had it going through my Echo Dot, so I was able to, get it and really enjoy it. And it was right full of very helpful information. And then, as if that wasn't good enough, we had our meeting last night, and there were several helpful videos last night. So even though I didn't feel good at the end of the night when I went to watch Big Brother, I still had a great day when it came to getting my spiritual food by means of the JW Broadcasting for September, as well as our meeting last night. And that was on the tails of me making, I think, 8 videos and editing and uploading all my thumbnails and links. So I love the fact that since I didn't feel well, at least I didn't feel well at the tail end of the day, and I got so much done. So Fashawn called me today and told me that if I had any fall diamond paintings, I could participate in drills and chills, which is being, I think it's done by YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram by Diamonds and Washi. So she said, "Do you have anything fall?" So I said, "Yes." So I pulled up my app, and these are the two. Let me show you what I mean. I have this app called Gems Flow, and as you can see, Gems Flow, and it has all the diamond paintings that I have purchased and all the diamond paintings I have done. So I went through my Gems Flow app to see what I have for fall. So I took screenshots. So the 2 fall diamond paintings that I decided to choose between for Drills and Chills, I'm just going to make it bigger, is this one here, which is Autumn Afternoon at Belle Mead. It's a Chuck Pinson. And I think this is also a Chuck Pinson, and it's called Seize the Day. So I gave Fashawn a choice to pick between that one and this one. This was my favorite, and guess what? It's also Fashawn's favorite. So I've got it right here. And I'm going to be kitting it up today, and I am going to be doing the Drills and Chills. It goes from September 1st to October 31st. So that's another thing that I need to do well before my babies get here tonight, is to kit up that diamond painting. It's 93 by 70 centimeters. I don't know how many colors. Actually, the app should tell me how many colors. How many, let's see. It has 57 colors. Can you see that? Let me put my glasses on. I can't see if you can see it. Yeah, it's 93 by 70 centimeters, which is 37.2 by 28 inches, 57 colors. It's a square diamond painting by Chuck Pinson. Those are the details on it. So 57 colors will take me about an hour and a half or so to kit up. So I'll do that today. I've got a case all ready. And so let's see. So that to line up all my stuff planned. I've got my videos, my book reviews, the Shadow Lounge monthly readathon, Drills and Chills, and I feel like there's something else. Drills and Chills, the readathon. Of course, finish this diamond painting. And I also plan on finishing the one with the girl on a tree. Which one is that? I'm always confusing that with girl reading. I'm away from the camera, so if my voice is soft, give me 1 second. The one I'm working on is, yeah, it's girl reading. So I do want to work on that and put some love into that one. I'm about halfway through with that one, so it should be a good weekend. I do have a very sensitive stomach, so I don't know what that's all about, but hopefully it's, you know, something that I can ignore, or just, yeah, pretty much ignore, which is part and parcel to how I handle my chronic pain anyway, is I pretty much ignore. I did tell you my thoughts on Big Brother. Oh, can we talk about Big Brother again real quick? Michael had one opportunity to save himself this week. In case nobody saw it, let's not talk about Michael. Let's just leave that. I'll have a Big Brother talk in a few days, because there might be people that watch it that didn't see last night's episodes. We're just going to drop that. But what else did there was something else I wanted to mention. I did do the Great Escape event, but I finished that up with Hawaiian Life, so that one is done. I have girl reading. I feel like there's something else. I am totally drawing a blank. I know there's more. Well, since I can't remember what it was I was going to talk about, let's talk about my reading. My favorite books for last month should have settled. I shouldn't say it like this, but I thought it was going to be My Name is Ona Judge by Suzette D. Harrison. That was going to be my favorite book of the month. And then on August 31st, I read The Lucky One by Jessica Payne. And I'm telling you, that book took #1. So that's kind of why I want to make some TikTok videos, because I need to talk about my favorite books and get the word out there for My Name is Ona Judge by Suzette D. Harrison and Jessica Payne's The Lucky One. I did have another book. It was Love, Lists, and Fancy Ships. I can't think of the author right now, but that was also a favorite for last month. For this month, I've read 14 books, but I can't really say any of them is my favorite. I have read 3 historical fiction books this month, and they were all very good. They were all 5 stars. Let's just plague my memory to see if I can remember the name of them, and I probably can't. Sometimes I have to have a tickler by seeing, so we're just going to grab my iPad. For those 3 historical fiction books I read, we're just going to use my iPad. And so if I bring up my photo app and go to all photos and then go to my album, I can tell you. So the 3 historical fiction books I read were The Silence Before Dawn by Amanda Lees, which is the first book in the World War II Resistance series. Each of these books in Amanda Lees' series will feature a strong female protagonist, pretty much, we'll say, a spy because they're joining the resistance against the Nazis. So that was the first book. I already have book number 2, which I believe comes out November 27th. So they'll something about Paris, but there is the next book. This one here takes place in Lyons, France, and book 2 in that series takes place in Paris, France. Another historical fiction book I read by Anna Stewart was The Bletchley Girls. Excellent, excellent book about a woman spy. Actually, it was 3 girls, and they met in a certain area, and it was called Bletchley Park, actually. And one stayed there and was a spy there. One went to Malta and one went to Egypt. So that was really good. Then another great one was The Girl from Guernica by Karen Robards. This was definitely a 5-star book. In this particular book, oh my goodness, this book was so good because, why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank? I'm drawing a blank, but Guernica is in Spain, okay? If I read Spain, France, and Portugal. Oh, Poland. Wait, before I tell you that one, let me tell you. What's the other one? I feel like Sabibi, Poland. I'm not sure where the Poland book is. Okay. Anyway, Guernica, Spain. This book here, I'm just gonna kick myself. I'm gonna kick myself. Okay, so we're gonna run over to my blog, and I am going to refresh my own memory because I can't pause this video because I have not yet learned how to edit. The Girl from Guernica. I already published this, so let's just look over at my blog. I'm sorry for drawing a blank. Here's my review. It's only 3 paragraphs. Okay, Sibby. I was drawing a blank. Okay. This is about Sibby. She had a mother and 3 sisters, and she was walking about one day, and a boy from her school was about to or had just asked her out on a date. Before she could even finish thinking about whether she liked the boy enough to go on a date, they hear something, and he's like, run. They look up in the sky, and they see 3 planes, and those planes were dropped. Well, they see a plane dropping 3 bombs, and then there was another plane and another plane. And then just as they're getting to shelter, more planes come, and the shelter itself was bombed. Well, Sibby was saved by an American soldier named Griff. You see, I just had to look at it before I could tell you about it. She was saved by an American soldier named Griff, and all she wanted to know was her mother safe? Were her sisters safe? And so the story shows what happened after that bombing and what Griff did to keep Sibby and whoever he could in that group of survivors safe. And then, meanwhile, Sibby's father, who before the bombing had him and her mother were having some problems. And part of the reason they were having problems is her father was a genius when it came to planes and aircraft, and his main focus was his work, and it interfered with his marriage. Well, the fact that her father was a genius when it came to aircraft, that genius was passed on to Sibby. So after she survived and was rescued by Griff, she became a spy. And that was The Girl from Guernica. You have to forgive me for having to look at the review. I only looked at it for a flash of a second. I just needed to see her name. And the reason that I do that when I'm talking like this without notes is because if I read 3 or 4 historical fiction in a row, like I read a book about Sobibor, Poland, and then Lyons, France, and then Guernica, Spain, they're gonna run together in my head until I just have to look at them for a second to separate them. So I think that's only natural where things run together in your head. At least it's natural for me. And of course, then I have fibromyalgia, so therefore I have fibro fog, and that doesn't help because with fibro fog, even when you do remember something, certain words get lost in my brain, and I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about when I fully know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so I've read those great historical fiction. I think I have one historical fiction coming up this weekend. Did I mention that already? What's my historical fiction that I have coming up? Oh, here it is. Yeah, this will be my historical fiction, The Winter Orphans by Kristen Beck. So I do have one historical fiction coming up. I knew I had one coming up. I've got 3 crime thrillers, 1 psychological thriller, one or 2 romances in the historical fiction that I remember. So I think I know what I was going to say earlier and I lost my thought. It's a good thing. I'm so glad I stayed on chatting to you guys. I graduated in my psychotherapy. Yes. After 20 some odd years of having a therapist every single week and a psychiatrist every single month, I have moved on to twice monthly therapy sessions. Yes, I no longer have to see my therapist every week. And last week when I talked to my psychiatrist, we talked about when my therapy will end, what do I do about my meds? So there is an end date in sight for my psychotherapy. That's huge news for me. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the things that we talk about when I have therapy are my triggers in my bipolar. And what I have been recognizing with my therapist is the huge difference between being depressed and feeling depressed. Being depressed and feeling depressed. Once I was finally able to come out of the muck and mire of that horrible trigger from what happened at the end of January, I started to experience episodes of depression and then episodes of feeling depressed. Once I was able to sort that out in my mind, I just started to fly in a positive direction. And one thing, you don't ever want to feel overconfident, So it's not even me feeling overconfident. It's me being able to avoid the triggers that put me in that deep depression, so that if I have a rainy day and that feeling of blah that comes with the pouring rain, because we had, I think, almost 48 hours of rain here in Massachusetts, and it's raining today. Well, it's a little overcast. It was raining earlier. Being able to recognize feeling versus being depressed has given me power over my mood swings that come from having bipolar disorder. It doesn't give me control, it just gives me power. That combined with not missing my medication no matter what. And one thing that I addressed to Mark, and I think this is why I was able to, why he recommended that we only meet twice a month because of my progress, is over the course of the last several years, I would give up and stop taking my medication. And sometimes I would go months without taking my meds. Well, you get tired of being in the same situation over and over and over again. You kind of want to see progress. At least I do. So, Mark, I told Mark, I said, guess what, Mark? Do you realize that I have not screwed up my medication in the last year or so? That after that horrible experience I had in January, even through that, I stayed on my meds. And that everybody is different. Some people don't see therapists. Some people won't take medication. Some people don't believe in doctors. I mean, like my husband, for example, he does not believe in conventional medication, conventional medical treatment. We are at loggerheads when it comes to that. Our opinions on that are 100% different. And a viewer of this video might feel that way. And there's no shame, no blame on that. Everybody has to do what works for them. What works for me is controlling my bipolar disorder, my chemical imbalance with the proper medication. And now that I am being as compliant as reasonably possible, I am able to distinguish being depressed versus feeling depressed. And that way, when I have a day when I feel depressed, I know it's going to pass, and the next day is going to be a better day. Now, with that, I am doing something else for myself, and this self-care habit means doing what brings me joy. And I thought about this last night when I went to watch TV, which, as I mentioned, I couldn't stay awake. Over the years, I abandoned certain things that brought me joy, and we're going to run through them really quickly. The first thing was coloring. Was the entire world to me was coloring, adult coloring. I colored for hours and hours every day. I colored 1,000 pictures in 1 year, and I'm not talking about just plain coloring. I'm talking layering and blending and backgrounds and all kinds of techniques. But I experienced severe bullying and lost my love of coloring. Then I got into Animal Crossing, and there was an issue that came up, and I no longer wanted to play Animal Crossing. And then with cross-stitching, there was something that happened, and I lost my love of stitching. So I stopped playing. I stopped coloring, I stopped playing Animal Crossing, and now I have stopped stitching, and I am diamond painting all the time. Well, a couple of days ago, I took out my temperature tree because I haven't touched it, I think, since March or April. So I am a few months behind, but I want to work on that tree. So I was telling my therapist yesterday that I plan on working on stitching again. He says, well, what's going to happen if you find yourself sad because you're doing something that caused you to be triggered a couple of months ago? And by the way, what it was, and I mentioned this in the video, is the group of people that blackballed me were having fun talking about a cross-stitching event that I couldn't be a part of, and it really hurt me, and I no longer wanted to stitch. So because I pulled out my temperature tree, and let's take a look at it because it is right here. Let's raise my camera. So this is January, February, March, April, May, and part of June is done. I wasn't sure where I left off. So I have to finish June, July, August, and work on September. So Mark asked me, what is going to happen if that makes you sad? I said, I'll go back to my diamond painting. And there's a reason I'm telling you this. Do what brings you joy. And that's my ticket to where I think I've reached a point where my therapy doesn't have to be done on a weekly basis. Is I enjoy diamond painting right now. It's making me uber happy. This diamond painting here is taking me 1 week. 1 week to do this. And the size of this painting is 89 by 46 centimeters. So it's not a small one. And yet it's only taken me about a week. And there's been a couple of times that I couldn't work on it because I went and spent the night at my daughter's house and babysat. Then I had my other granddaughter here for 3 days. And yet I'm still getting it done in about a week's time because it's bringing me joy. So my ticket of success is a combination of things. It's doing what brings me joy, staying on my medication, recognizing when my mood swings from feeling depressed to being depressed, and recognizing also that feeling depressed doesn't mean I'm having a bipolar episode. And with all of that, I like to do one other thing, which is being productive. I hope, yeah, you can still see what I'm doing. And having that productivity works for me. The busier I am, the more fun I have. And I'm about to end this video. I don't know, 35 minutes. I hope you're still here. But when I say the busier I am, the more fun I have, if you look at my dashboard in my YouTube studio, I know I have dark mode on, so I'm not sure how much you can see, but can you see that word scheduled? Right there it says scheduled. All these videos are all done in scheduled. Thumbnails, links, everything, all done. If we run over to my blog, if I run over to my Blogger app, I have scheduled, 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 and then drafts and published. These two here, the lucky one, the Book Haters Club, and 3 Small Bones, already written, just need to be proofread. And then I've got a few more that I've got to write. So I've got my groove back. My reading is good, my channel is good, my blog is good, my mental health is great, my spirituality is improving, and my connection with my family is getting better and better. And so I'm going to finish this diamond painting. I'm going to kit up Autumn at Balmead. I'm going to put it to the side and finish Girl Reading. After I'm done with Girl Reading, I will be working on Autumn on Balmead. The last thing I want to mention is I'm going live on this channel a week from tomorrow, and that's when you'll see me working on Autumn on Balmead. So I want to thank you if you stayed with me throughout this video, and hopefully I can be some sort of an inspiration to you, because do what brings you joy. Recognize when your mood shifts so that you can get out of that negative headspace. Do what works for you. What works for me is my medication, my faith, my family, and my productivity. Those are things that work for me. Find what works for you and do what brings you joy. I do have more thoughts on Big Brother, but I'll talk to you more about that in a couple of days when any fans of Big Brother have definitely had a chance to watch this most latest episode. I don't want to do any spoilers on that show. So thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.